I don't care that they lost because this was a successful season. 48-34, third seed in the West. Nobody saw it coming. Ended a 16-year playoff drought. Fox and Sabonis All-Stars. Keegan Murray set the rookie record for most threes made as a rookie. They lost to the Warriors in 7 games. They lost to the defending NBA champions in 7 games. Fox had the second most total points in a playoff debut series, only behind LeBron. I understand Kevon Looney was amazing. He led all teams in rebounding the last 5 games of this series and had 3 20-rebound games. He dared Sabonis to shoot, and Sabonis wasn't willing to shoot it often enough. I mentioned it earlier, but the problem with taking mid-range jump shots consistently in a series is that you're at odds with the numbers. Unless you're hitting mid-range jump shots at a clip that's above 50%, then it's not efficient enough. And you'd rather an open three-point look or a cut and a shot at the basket. So I think Sabonis just didn't want to sabotage the offense. And that's where it lies, the internal improvements. I think with Sabonis, he has to develop a jump shot in the offseason. This year, he wasn't that bad. He shot 46% on mid-range shots on 76 attempts in the regular season, which is not an attempt a game.
Yeah.
So I think that in the offseason, it should be a point of emphasis to take more outside jump shots, have more post moves. But all in all, you average 16, 11, and 5 in the playoffs, shoot 50% from the field, and the Warriors keyed in on Sabonis as part of the offensive system that is the Kings. Fox went crazy. He needs his respect, and they didn't have an answer for him. But they were actively trying to stop Sabonis, and they had better personnel to stop Sabonis. They had Looney, they had Draymond, and I thought Sabonis still played an all-right series. He wasn't all-world, but he was all right. I think the biggest issues with their loss was Kevin Huerter shooting 20% from 3.
Terrible.
Harrison Barnes shooting 25% from 3. He had 4 points in Game 7.
Gross.
And I think after the Game 5 miss, his confidence was so shattered that Mike Brown didn't play him above 15 minutes again for the rest of the 2 games remaining in the playoff series. Only 2 players for the Kings shot over 35% in this playoff series. That was Terrence Davis and Keegan Murray. And Terrence Davis, he came on to the series late. It wasn't even like he played the entire series. It's all about how you frame these things. And despite the Kings shooting 30% from 3 as a team, Sabonis being a complete liability defensively and offensively and getting dominated by Looney, which is how some people frame it, the Kings lost in 7 against the defending champions. All these things went wrong. Sabonis was this complete liability, no-show, and they lost in 7 games.
To be fair, the Warriors really didn't look that good.
Here we go.
The Warriors didn't look that good, and that's why I don't want to sit here and say, you know what, hey, took them 7. That's a feat in and of themselves. The Warriors were not the Warriors that we were expecting going into this series. Let's be completely honest. Did you think the Warriors were going to play this poorly?
Neither team played
that's what I'm saying.
Well, neither team hit the 3 ball well.
That's really what it is.
I honestly don't feel that way. I think that this was amazing basketball. I think both teams executed at a high level. They may have not hit their shots, but both teams executed at a high level. And that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody wants to frame this as a disaster series for the Kings.
It was.
At least outside of Kings fans, like, oh, Sabonis you can't play him in the playoffs.
You know, people love absolutes. People love it.
Sabonis, you can't play him in the playoffs, although he played 35 minutes per game and they lost in 7 games. It's not like they got swept and Sabonis was averaging 10 points out there.
Yep.
He still was 17, 11, and 5, which they're good numbers. But the biggest need is a wing. I mean, Harrison Barnes just wasn't good this series. No. He had 1 or 2 good games.
And the Warriors knew he wouldn't be good.
And they're free agents. You have Harrison Barnes, Terrence Davis, Trey Lyles, Alex Len, Dellavedova, Chimezie Metu. I think the only one I'm prioritizing bringing back, I think, would be Trey Lyles. I like Trey Lyles a lot. Yep. But there are 3 major needs, and I thought in the series it was apparent, was you need a wing defender and an offense creator. Because outside of De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, they don't have another offensive creator. Kevin Huerter isn't that. Malik Monk off the bench. I'm talking more starters. Harrison Barnes isn't that. And we know that Keegan Murray, maybe he can develop into that, but as of right now, he's not that. So for that need, I think a couple players fit the bill. Kyle Kuzma would be the dream scenario, and I think Kyle Kuzma proved in the Lakers championship run in 2020 that he is a good defender and can be a great defender within a playoff run. And he's developed his offensive game. Jeremy Grant is another player that can help this team that I think would be a boost to them offensively and defensively. And Kelly Oubre would give them a spark on offense.
Okay.
I think they need proven shooting because the lights were a little bit too bright for Kevin Huerter, and historically has not been consistent as a shooter in the playoffs.
I think he led his team in blocks.
If you see what this team had accomplished this season, are you willing to move the 3 first-round picks for OG Anunoby?
No. No.
First round. I thought it was protected.
I'm sure they have picks. Facts. With the trade with the Pacers. Facts.
I think 3 first rounders for OG is too much.
Okay.
I think one in a first and a second.
Wasn't the deal 3 first rounds earlier this season?
That's what the noise was, but I wouldn't personally do that
so
either.
all right, let's say, are you trading 2 to 3 first-round picks for OG Anunoby?
No.
I wouldn't trade
even
two
though
either.
that's the piece that you look at.
I don't think that's a championship mover.
He would significantly improve their defense. Not that he's a creator of offense, but he can still give you 17 to 20 points a game.
They still need somebody at the rim.
They do need big.
And they need more than just OG.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna come through development too. But I'm gonna let you.
That's what I'm saying. Keegan Murray. That's what you mentioned. Were you finished speaking?
No, not yet.
Okay, go ahead.
Do your thing.
Proven shooting too. I would like Seth Curry on this team. I think they need a player.
Are you just gonna go through our
liability?
Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, I think they need a player who can shoot well when the lights are the brightest. And I trust Seth Curry. He's been in the playoffs before.
Just defensively.
Torrey Craig can be an option too. He's a free agent in the offseason.
Good move.
And then it's big depth. I think what the series revealed to me is that Sabonis is the only good rebounder on the Kings. Everybody else isn't a very good rebounder. And when you have somebody like Sabonis who has to rotate over to Wiggins drives or Clay drives and guard Steph on screens, it makes him more susceptible for offensive rebounds to be had and for him to miss out on those opportunities. Somebody mentioned the possibility of Christian Wood. I'm not sure if Christian Wood is appealing to me because I like his offense. I think defensively he has some untapped potential that he showed with the Mavericks, but we'll see if Mike Brown can get him on track and get him to playing winning basketball.
That's your question. What was that meme that you sent me when I said we could use him on the Lakers?
Hilarious.
The monkey one?
Oh, the dog one?
No, I thought it was a dog.
Yeah, it was a dog. It was like a dog and then another. Yeah.
I don't know. I just saw it somewhere.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
That was a good one. I liked your response.
Thanks.
Yeah. I just saw it somewhere, and then I just
ratioed, bro.
Oh, you got his ass?
Of course.
Okay.
Both tweets.
That's why I want to keep out of it usually.
The Drewski one?
What are you talking about?
When they try to race each other, like just
Sorry, kid.
I'm like a heater right now.
That was a good comeback.
Yeah.
I think the last person I ratio was Joel.
You try to ratio me, but it just doesn't work out.
I ratioed you before.
Maybe once, maybe.
I ratio him the most. I always catch him lacking.
All of us ratio him because it's just Twitter, just whatever. They have a vendetta against Joel.
That's not true. My tweet got 1,000 likes on your body.
No, that's not a ratio.
It's not a ratio.
That's not a ratio.
It's a body bag.
It was
the jig is up one.
Yeah, he cooked me in that. But one time.
But you got the get back.
Yeah, he posted. No, he posted.
His get back got 200 likes compared to my 1,000.
He won.
It doesn't matter. It's about the likes on Twitter.
No, but you didn't. That's not. One time he posted something and I posted something.
Yeah.
It is about the likes on Twitter.
Ultimately,
a ratio is
the
likes on
ratio
Twitter.
me though.
But even if you cut it in half, like you get like 400. It's still more than his. Oh no.
He did body.
He bodied him, but then he ultimately ethered him because they won.
But also yours wasn't a ratio because you didn't like quote any of his tweets.
I'll be honest. If you would have
just a regular
picture of you giving him the finger, I think.
Well, you what?
Huh?
But if you asked someone, that doesn't.
No, I didn't add him.
Ratio.
No, he was in the tweet though.
You burned me, but there's a few times I've ratioed you back.
Honestly, Riv, you're the easiest one to ratio at this table.
You have the most L's of ratios here.
Nah, we can count them up.
We can.
I
cook you.
No, you do not.
I've ratioed everybody at this table.
Dehls, the reason why Dehls gets ratios is because Dehls be having the witty responses.
I've ratioed Dehls before though.
I've ratioed you.
Yeah.
Nah, Dehls definitely has you. He's gentleman sweeping.
No, we only won one. We don't really acknowledge each other on Twitter.
Honestly, I don't remember what it was.
It's just I cooked them.
But back to the Kings, the big man options outside of Christian Wood, Jakob Poeltl and Naz Reid would be some good additions to this team. I think both of them.
Asking for a lot.
I think we're gonna say Naz Reid to damn near every team in the league this offseason.
Jakob Poeltl's cool.
Jakob Poeltl gives him rim protection. Not the offense creation or whatever, but I think they just need another big to rebound the ball, wing depth, and offensive
bonus.
scoring.
Yeah.
I'll go.
That's fine. We're gonna have. I mean, listen, we're all gonna say essentially the same thing.
Oh, me and Joel agree to disagree on the Sabonis thing. I do think
he's fried.
No, whoa. Jesus, why the fuck do you jump to the end?
Because that
sometimes
was
you
his
gotta
whole
say
point.
something.
No,
Give it six.
I disagree to the way he's looking at it. I do think if you're an all-star and you play below your standards, you did not have a good series. I do think, even though he looked all right, box score watch and defensively he was okay, but offensively he couldn't find much rhythm. You know, he was good in transition, but when he tried to post up Looney, it was tough. Sometimes he had the mid-range open. He took a floater, it hit the front of the rim.
Yeah, and to emphasize that too, a lot of his production last night's game, 2 nights ago, whatever it was in the beginning of the game.
I think he had
his first half. He went the entire third quarter, no points.
Yeah, and I think like him opening up his game defensively, he'll never be this great defender. Maybe the effort would be there, but he might not. But offensively, opening up your game more opens up this offense more. I do think this offense has a little bit more potential than the Golden State offense in the sense of with Looney and Sabonis. You know, Looney's usually the guy that's doing dribble handoffs or Draymond. Sabonis has a little bit more offense than both of them, and he has a little bit more untapped potential. So if he can open up his game, this creates multiple opportunities for this team to open up the game more. Keegan Murray got it going late. You know, first 4 games he wasn't that good, but 5, 6, 7 he got it going. Defensively, he was inconsistent, though. He needs to definitely work on his foot speed. He needs to work on his concentration. That's important for him, especially as a wing. You need to be a really good defender in this league. Fox and Monk were amazing. Monk is a little erratic with the shot sometimes, but for a player like him, that's fine. Kevin Huerter, he probably was gassed chasing Steph and Clay all fucking day. Probably couldn't hit his shots, but he has to just become better. He was getting a lot of open looks. You have to be able to make those looks. Barnes was dog shit. We don't have to talk too much about him. We can just move on from that. He had a couple highlight dunks, but no, I will never respect after what he did in 2016. I'm sorry.
You saw he didn't invite Draymond to his wedding, right?
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. He invited everybody else but Dre.
Did you say that Draymond said he lost respect for Sabonis for not shaking his
ignored
hand?
that.
Was also not.
I mean,
Draymond's.
Bro's eye is fucked up. He probably wants to go lay down, bro. His eye's fucked up. His body's hurt. He probably just wants to go home, bro. Go to his family. I do agree though. I think more wings, definitely a backup bid. This team doesn't need much from free agency. This team just needs a good amount of development. You got your coach. I do think Mike Brown fucked up in that Game 7. I do think Game 7, you notice in the first half, nobody but Steph gets it going. I would have liked to see you trap Steph more, double Steph more. Let the other guys beat you. They don't got it going. Clay doesn't have it going. Poole doesn't have it going. Wiggins doesn't. Change your game plan, change your offense. I do understand Davis over Mitchell to a degree, but Mitchell he was your best defender on Steph, him and Fox. Davis was getting torched, but he was giving you those threes back. Yeah. So I guess you was being okay with it, but I would have loved to see him adjust and just say, fuck it. Everybody else is going to beat us, but not Steph. But he kind of just left Steph, go one-on-one, ISO, whatever. That's fine. That's a learning adjustment. He'll figure that out. But just wings, you know, a backup big, development. They're bringing in another guy this year, probably in the late first round. So that's
24th pick.
Yep, that's pretty good. They can probably get somebody good there and just keep on developing this core. I think Sabonis is locked up for another year. They'll probably extend them. Fox is locked up for 3 to 4 more years. They got Davion.
Their core is locked up.
They got Keegan on a rookie deal. So that's really, really good. And you just want to keep growing from this. You know, you might not ever get a second chance at this, but you know now this team has put the league on notice. You have to continue to improve. You cannot do what the Hawks did, bring everybody back and say we're not going to do anything. You cannot do to a degree what the Grizzlies did. We're just going to bring everybody back, not make adjustments. You have to make adjustments pretty much almost every year, even if you win a chip sometimes, because you have to maintain the group. You have to continue to get better at every level because there's always something you can get better at. So definitely wings, defensive wings that can defend and shoot the three is important, but also create for himself. I like Torrey Craig, but I like a wing who can kind of get to the rack. Like Trey Lyles was able to do that to a degree. Keegan Murray a little bit show flash. I like something like that in this form of just a spot-up shooter because if they get cold and they're sitting in the corner for too long, they start to miss shots, and you can see that it starts to hinder the game. So I don't look at this season as a failure. And we talked about this last episode. Certain teams have a different level of expectations, and this team was just to get to the playoffs for the first time in 16 to 17 years. They did it. They took the defending champs to 7. That's your success right there. You had an amazing season. You finished 3rd in the West. You went to 7. Elite season. De'Aaron Fox, he won Clutch Player of the Year. One or two of the guys are going to make All-NBA. They both made the All-Star game. Mike Brown won Coach of the Year. This was nothing short of a successful season. Now next year your expectations get higher, and now it's like second round. Like I look at the Grizzlies that they failed this year. That's a team that I look at second seed. You didn't get to the second round. I look at this season as a failure. But for the Kings, successful, great season. I slept on them heavy.
Shit,
I
we
would
all
take
did.
I would take my L in that one. I slept on them heavy. But
You're too early.
in the end, I'm
Pacers,
always
not
Bonus is my guy, though.
Yeah.
Can always have
in the
that.
end I'm always right when I'm right. And
The jig is up.
the jig is fucking up. And
And
now that the young pups are out of the round, the old men can finally play in the West, and the real champs can get to real level playing basketball. But shout out to the Kings. You guys, you didn't scare me, but you scared a lot of Warriors fans.
you know,
You
he-
said your
he-
stomach was hurting for days.
It always hurts when we lose. We
Okay.
can lose
It
to the
doesn't matter?
Hornets. Shit hurts.
Nah, I'll be
Hornets.
honest. I like that. I'll be honest. After you guys lost Game 6, I thought it was Bean's Game 7.
I remember we lost to the Pistons. My stomach hurt.
Okay.
It was
Got it.
Your stomach
bugging.
hurts for regular season games.
Yeah, it's bugging. When we lose to shit
Nah,
like
losing
that,
to- losing to Pistons,
it's,
my
it's the
stomach would
way
hurt
it's the
also.
way you lose, but
Yes.
in 82 games, it's just the playoffs that really.
This is-
give it.